everyone. So today I'm going to review the Derwent Watersoluble Sketching Pencils. They come in this little tin, and I'm going to show you a couple of different things that I did with them, give you my opinion, and let you see what they look like. Okay, so as usual, I like to start off with just a value scale so that you can see the different pencils that come in the tin. It's a set of 6, but they give you 2 of 3 different values. So you get 2 HB, 2 4B, and 2 8B. And I can tell you that, there's a little eraser crumb there, I don't see that much of a difference between the HB and the 4B when I'm just sketching with it. What we can do is we can add some water and see if there's a real difference there. But first, I'm going to show you, I did this little artichoke with also some vegetable dye that I made. I'll link that video here. You can watch that one if you're interested. I also have a video on how to make the vegetable dye if you're interested in that. And then I wanted to test this out really quickly compared to, so I did the Derwent Watersoluble Sketching in 4B. And then added water, and then I also used the Mitsubishi Uni Star in 4B and added water. Now, when they were wet, they looked relatively similar, but you can really tell that the non-water soluble pencil is going to leave that sort of speckly nature high and low of the paper showing, whereas the water soluble really blends quite a bit more. So it's much different in action once you add the water than a regular pencil. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to start. One of the things that I do with this type of material is that I'm usually going to start with the lighter values first and then move to the darker, because it does sort of pick up your lighter values and drag it with you in the brush, just like a watercolor would. And so your paint water does get dirty relatively quick. So there's a little bit of a difference there between the HB and the 4B that I'm seeing. And let's see if this 8B looks any darker. And it does look quite a bit darker. So that's the difference, is you're gonna not necessarily see it when you're just sketching with it, but then when you are painting with it, you are going to see the difference. And so I'll show you how I paint with it. I'm just going to, again, start with the lighter values, so that as you build, you can get darker. And it's really going to be impacted, just like watercolor, by how much water you have on your brush. So you'll see me redip my brush at times. I'm also going to be conscious of the dry line, because that is a problem with these, just like if you were using watercolors. And so where I want it to be lighter, I'm going to go in with a fresh bit of water. And where I want it to be darker, I'm going to blend what I already have. And so I would say it's a little bit splotchier than a watercolor is. So if you wanted to do this with a black or gray wash of a watercolor, you could get a similar effect, and it wouldn't necessarily be quite so splotchy. But it also doesn't have that sort of tone of the graphite pencil, which, if you're a huge fan of that, like I am, then it's kind of fun to have these to do some different drawing, painting processes with. I did not bring a tiny little brush, so let's see if I can get my brush concentrated in there. These bristles are kind of splayed out, so I don't think they're gonna work super well. So there you go. The one thing that I will say is that if I'm just using this for sketching and I'm not adding the water on top of it, the feel of the pencil is actually kind of hard. It doesn't feel smooth like some of my favorite pencils, like the Mitsubishi and the Tombow. It feels like you're definitely kind of compressing the paper a little bit more. So if you're just using them for sketching, that's kind of one drawback. The other thing is that they're a really thick pencil, so they don't fit in most standard sharpeners, they're going to need a little bit of a wider barrel sharpener. So that is a sample of what you can do with these. I think they're fun to have. They definitely work differently than a regular pencil will when you're adding water to it. But if you're not committed to painting, then I'd say stick with the graphite. It's up to you. I hope this review helps you guys out. If you want more in-depth, deeper dive workshop type tutorials with me, you can go to my website, lzmstudio.com.